Hey guys, welcome to the Pro Gun live stream. Today is Saturday, March 14th, 2026. As always, we'll give it a few minutes for people to join and we'll get started. Mike, welcome, brother. Well, I recently purchased the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 10 millimeter pistol, and I like it a lot. But my first bitch about that is I was trying to install a Zalissi optic on it, and they call for 5/64th hex wrench to remove the optic cover. And I don't know why it's so small. So I ran over to Harbor Freight this morning and I picked up a set of these Allen keys, and it does have a 5/64, but it doesn't fit. So now I'm going to try running over to Lowe's and getting a hex wrench. I don't know if there's a difference, but it clearly says 5/64ths, just like the manual, and it doesn't fit. It's very disappointing. I don't know why they use such a damn small screw head on that. I mean, especially for a 10 millimeter, you would think it would have been a little bit larger, but. So what do we have in gun news today? In gun news, the Attorney General in Pennsylvania is suing Glock, blaming Glock for gun violence because of the Glock switches. And that is a really stupid argument, number one, because I guess they'll throw it at the wall and see what sticks. And if they're successful, I'm assuming they're going to go after the Ruger RXM, Palmetto State, Shadow Systems, and every other Glock clone. Now, I understand the argument about the Glock switches, but realistically, if even with a 9 millimeter, if it was fully automatic, you're not going to be able to control that. So you're not going to be accurate with it anyway. Ozzy, how you doing there, brother? All right, and like I said last week, the agitators will just go away. I will not engage in conversation with them. They'll just go away. So I want to thank our moderators for helping out, keeping the channel clean. And Ozzy Osbourne, did you get the shot timer that I sent you? Now that Ozzy's on, could congratulate Ozzy for winning the shot timer. I sent it out to him. He should have had it this week. Yeah, boy, Magoo. Other gun news. A huge win in Tennessee that this bill just advanced. So this is huge. We have a stupid law on the books. Hey, Duke, welcome, brother. I'm glad you got it, Ozzy. You're going to really enjoy that. It's a great training aid. So Tennessee has this stupid law in the books called the intent to go armed. And it's an old law. No one's ever got charged with it. Um, but basically, it allows law enforcement to um, arrest anybody for carrying a firearm, because if you carry a firearm, that is the intent to go armed. Now, Tennessee is a constitutional carry state. You don't need a permit to open or concealed carry. And the courts ruled that that law is unconstitutional and unenforceable. However, our Rhino Governor Bill Lee and the Attorney General have appealed it. Well, an amended bill was just passed, and I guess it's going to go to the Judicial Committee, and it will basically nullify the intent to go armed law. It will also allow us to carry in state parks, because in Tennessee you cannot carry a firearm in any state park like the Great Smoky Mountains, etc. And we do have a lot of state parks. Will also allow you to carry in certain government buildings, greenways, and one other thing I think included in that bill is that people who have been charged with stalking after 3 years can apply to get their permit back. Yeah, like that's a shock, Hamdonia. I am from the communist state of New Jersey originally, but yes, I am from Tennessee. I've been here for 7 years now. This is my home, and go Vols. But anyway, I'm very disappointed in the Smith & Wesson's choice to use 564 screws to remove the optic plate on a 10 millimeter. I mean, that's just stupid. And Simba, good morning to you too. And we have a bunch of new people on this chat, which is great. We do this live stream every Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. And we do this because you guys asked for it. If you're new here, this is a open forum. We talk about anything that is gun related or Second Amendment related, firearms, products. We do questions and answers. If you want to share your opinions, good or bad, on a firearm. So I decided I want to get a Colt Viper. Southern girl, love you too. Simba, I've never heard of any of those, so I'm sorry I can't answer on that. So I decided I wanted to get a Colt Viper, and it was very difficult going through my guns in my safe, trying to figure out if I had any I'm willing to part with, because the guns I'm willing to part with start getting less and less. Nice choices there, Southern Girl. So when I look through my gun safe, there's two guns I'm willing to part with. I have a Ruger 5.7, which honestly, that was probably a mistake. I bought it because I wanted a caliber I didn't have, but I think that was the only gun I ever purchased that I regret. I just think it's silly. I bought it because I didn't have one in that caliber. It's just not practical. And Robert Brown, go Vols, brother. And if I missed anyone, I apologize. The messages scroll through so fast. Yeah, I wish I can keep them all, Randall, but the Viper's a little pricey and this channel's very small. I don't generate that kind of revenue, um, so I am willing to get rid of my Ruger 5.7, and I have a Ruger American 45 ACP that I'm willing to part with because, hence Pro Gun 45. I do have a lot of guns in 45 ACP, and I do have the Glock 30, so I really don't need it. So that'll help offset the Viper. Viper is just gorgeous. I mean, I bought the Colt Python Combat Elite, um, but the Viper is awesome. And Galen, my favorite caliber for lever action. Um, this is just my opinion. My favorite caliber is 357 Magnum. For Christmas, I bought a Henry 357 lever action. I bought the big boy carbine. And the reason I chose the 357 is because I have a lot of revolvers and I reloaded a boatload of ammo. So it basically doesn't cost me anything to shoot it. And Richie, hello, brother. Um, I was trying to decide between the King Cobra and the Viper, but since I have the Python, um, the King Cobra is kind of a cheaper, stripped down version of the. I'm sorry, the King Cobra is kind of a stripped down version of the Python, but the Viper is just absolutely gorgeous, and it's lighter weight. It's a great carry gun. So, is the Glock 30 my favorite 45 caliber so far? Uh, Lil Michi, no. I like it, but I also have the Glock 21 full size 45. That is my favorite non 1911. I think that Glock 21 is probably the best 45 ACP that's not a 1911. But that thing is just a workhorse, and it's a great gun. I've had it a long time. I really like that. But I also love my 1911s. Yes, Adalord, not only can you shoot the 38 Special, you can also shoot the 38 plus P as well. I got that Henry Big Boy carbine with a 16-inch barrel. I couldn't decide between the 16 and the 20, but I went with the 16 for maneuverability, and I'm glad I did. That octagonal barrel is heavy. That Henry Big Boy carbine with a 16-inch barrel weighs almost 9 pounds. Little Michi, what is your everyday carry? I'm sorry, is it the Glock 21, Glock 30, or a 1911? And unfortunately, I have I got two safes full of guns, and um, I don't own any safe queens. Um, I do carry all of mine from time to time, even the 1911s and my Colt Python. Ah, Glock 21, great choice, awesome gun. And Marlo Sanchez, that 1970 Winchester, that is a sweet gun. And that has got to be worth a fortune now. Um, when I got my Henry Big Boy, I couldn't decide between the Marlin and the Henry. I almost went with the Marlin because now that Ruger owns them, uh, I know the quality will stay very good. But the only reason I chose the Henry is because the Henry Big Boy has got the brass gate and brass trimming. Is just a beautiful looking gun, and it's got the walnut stock on. It's just an absolutely gorgeous looking gun. But even if I would have gotten the Winchester, I'm sorry, it would have been the Marlin. Can't go wrong with either. Galen Doak, now you're talking, brother. 10 millimeter is by far one of my favorite calibers. I love my 10 millimeters. So, um, in my opinion, the Glock 20 10 millimeter is the best 10 millimeter ever made. Um, the Alaskan tour guides use it for bear. Um, and then I got the little baby brother of that. I got the Glock 29, and that's a subcompact. Last week, I just bought the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 10 millimeter. Yeah, I'm on a roll now, Duke. Galen got me started. And then, if you're a 1911 fan, I have the Springfield Ronin 1911 in 10 millimeter. If I had to choose one handgun out of my collection, I would go with my Colt Python Combat Elite. That is one of my favorite guns. And I know a lot of people are concerned about, capacity, but my feeling, 6 guaranteed is better than 15 maybe. And with a 357 Magnum or a 10 millimeter, you don't need to do a double tap like the 9 millimeter guys. Well, good for you, Duke. It's about time you get that damn Glock 20. The nice thing is, if you have the baby brother, the Glock 29, you can buy a spacer from Pierce Grips, and you could use the full-size Glock 20 mags in it, so that's pretty cool. Yep, New Jersey is stupid. I talk to my friends from New Jersey every week, and you never had a Colt. All right, well, I have the Colt Python Combat Elite 357 Magnum, and that is a step up from the regular Python. The nice thing about it is that the Python Elite comes with fiber optic sights, comes with G10 grips, and the cylinder is not fluted, it's solid, so it's a little bit heavier. And then my 1911, I have the Colt competition government model. Yeah, you're right, Anthony. The shit that's going on in this country today is scary. Everybody needs to be armed. You can't count on cops to protect you. Matter of fact, I was just having this conversation with my wife the other day because I read the law, and if you read the law, the police do not have an obligation to protect you. They have an obligation to protect the public at large, but not individuals. And depending on where you live, like out here in the rural area, and you got to call the sheriff's department, it may take them 45 minutes or an hour to get there. You better be armed. A lot of people ask me, if I carry at home. And yes, everybody should carry at home. Contrary to popular belief, when you watch TV, um, they're always showing you that the home invasions happen in the middle of the night. But according to statistics, most home invasions happen between 9 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. They're assuming that people are either at work or the kids are in school. So, yes, we carry all the time. But the scary part is that you're not safe anywhere anymore. Um, there's shootings in the workplace, in the malls, even church. It's not even church. It's not even safe to carry in church anymore. Exactly, Ozzy. Exactly. And on top of that, um, my guns don't eat donuts. Yes, the security guards at the synagogue, um, college campuses, schools, um, movie theaters, basically anywhere you are in public or even your home, you're not safe anymore. And I know that when you're home, you have a false sense of security because it is your home, um, but you're not safe at home either. So, yes, everyone should be self armed. Don't count on law enforcement to protect you. You need to protect yourself. So, excuse me, I'm just looking at optic plates for my Smith & Wesson. I don't know why. Like I said, they use a 5/64 hex screw. I went over to Harbor Freight this morning and I got a uh, Allen set that had a 5/64 in it. Doesn't work. So after the stream, I'm going to run over to Lowe's and try to get a 5/64 hex key before I give up on it. It's a shame because I just don't know why on a 10 millimeter they use such a small screw head, and maybe I'll just wind up leaving it alone. I will be working on some new training videos, being that you guys asked for them. So keep an eye out for them. Um, if there are new gun owners or new shooters on the channel, I did create a course out there called New Shooters Training Course. Um, there is no charge for it, and I will constantly be adding training videos. And Mike, how you doing, brother? I'm doing well. Hope you are too. And again, we have a lot of new people on this stream, so if you haven't done so, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, watch as many videos as you can so we could generate more revenue to purchase firearms and accessories to review for you guys. I want to also thank the members that joined our channel. That membership allows you perks. When I release videos, the members get to see them for a week or two before they go public. Lil Michi, thank you for that. And as always, feel free to reach out if there's any training videos you would like me to create. I'll be more than happy to do it. I have a bunch in mind. I think I'm going to work on one today called transition shooting because when I go to the range, everybody just shoots straight ahead, and that's a horrible practice because in the real world, you're going to be moving, the bad guy's going to be moving, and you're probably never going to be shooting straight ahead. Tien Tran, do I like the Glock 26? I'm not a fan of baby pistols, to be honest with you. Um, you know, compacts are great. Subcompacts start getting a little small. And thank you, Lumici, for subscribing. I appreciate that. Um, Also, some of you guys support us by joining the channel and becoming a member or purchasing super stickers and super stat stickers. We appreciate that as well. We are small and growing, and like I said, our revenue is limited. I don't know what that is, Mr. Gabriel. Robert Brown. Yes, I have tried Shadow Systems, and um, it's not bad. I don't think it's as good as the Ruger RXM, but I do find it to be better than the PSA Dagger and the Bear Creek Arsenal Grizzly. I mean, if I was going to buy a Glock clone, like I said, I would just go out and get the Ruger RXM. I don't even consider it a Glock clone. I mean, other than the fact that it's built on Gen 3 technology, there are more differences between the Ruger RXM and a Glock than similarities. It's got the outstanding grip from Magpul. It's modular. Um, it comes with a uh, tritium front night sight. It's optic ready. And Ken and USMC, good morning, brother. Again, thank you for your service. We appreciate that. I will eventually get the Smith & Wesson FPC in 10 millimeter, but I want to get the Viper because I think the $100 Colt rebate expires in May. So I'll take care of that first. Then I'll go for the Smith & Wesson FPC in 10 millimeter. How much do I spend a month shooting bullets? That's a great question, Pure Joy. I don't spend a lot because I reload. And I got a boatload of ammo. I probably have, 50,000 rounds of ammo on my workbench. So it really doesn't cost me much to shoot. Especially when I'm shooting 45 or 10 millimeter, um, or 357 Magnum, being that I've reloaded so much. Uh, I don't know. The cost is really very minimal. I do not make my own gunpowder. I purchase my gunpowder, and I don't make my own bullets either. I don't have the time or the energy. Great question, Mr. Gabriel. I just purchased the M&P 2.0 10 millimeter 2 weeks ago, and I like it a lot. However, yeah, and I do like, well, no, I like the grip better on the Glock 20 because my Glock 20 is a Gen 3. However, in all fairness, if you compare them, you're not really comparing apples to apples because the Glock 20 is full size, um, and the M&P 2.0, I got the 4-inch barrel. So the Glock 20 handles the recoil a little bit better, but the M&P 10, though, I like it a lot. Matter of fact, I just bought a holster for it because um, I will be carrying it. I do like that it is optic ready. My Glock 20 is not. I also like that it comes with 4 different palm swells. Um, it's a great gun. It really is. It handles very well. Um, I don't know if I made that video public yet. I know the members can see it because um, people that purchase memberships, they get to see the videos for a week or two before I make them public. But I did shoot it at the range, and it shoots very well. Um, it does have suppressor height sights that took a couple rounds to getting used to because they're a little high. Um, but overall, I'm very happy with it. And again, I see more new people on this stream. I'm happy about that because that means people are finding us. I'll get right to you, Galen. Um, we do this live stream every Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock Eastern, and every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. So hopefully you'll catch us again. Galen, do I do any gunsmithing work other than attachments and cleaning? Um, I don't think, I mean, other than replacing sights, no. Um, I have I have a gunsmith that's the best gunsmith in East Tennessee, um, and I just take everything there. What do I think about the Smith and Wesson 40 SEVE compared to the Glock 23? First of all, in my opinion, the SEVE series is not the best Smith and Wesson products. Not a fan of those at all. So, and I'm not really a fan of 40 caliber. Uh, I know, Duke, I'm getting on a roll again, but I just don't see it. I just don't know why you don't go with a 10 millimeter and call it a day. You can shoot 40 caliber out of the 10. So, and we're missing Jib Jab today. And if you are on, sorry I missed you, brother. A few weeks ago, I mentioned that Tennessee proposed a bill that would prohibit landlords from disallowing tenants who lease or rent homes, apartments, offices, etc., from possessing firearms or ammo on their property. And that bill has passed and it's gone to Governor Lee's desk to sign. I never really thought about it before, but that's an awesome bill. I mean, you may be forced to live in an apartment or whatever. You have a store that you're renting from a landlord. And the landlord shouldn't be able to dictate whether you can uh, defend yourself or not. Austin, welcome, brother. Uh, Duke, you're gonna love that Glock 20. I'm telling you, and I'm glad it's a Gen 3 because I'm not a fan of the grip of the Gen 4 or the Gen 5. I love the grip. I love the finger grooves on the um, Gen 3, and that thing is awesome. I still think that is the best 10 millimeter money can buy. Um, it's actually my one of my wife's favorite guns. She shoots that Glock 20 very well. And thank you, Gino. I appreciate that. God bless you too. Thank you for joining. If you're talking about Glocks, Austin, you can't really change the grips. Um, the newer Glocks have back straps. That's not changing the grip. And I look forward to chatting with you about that, Duke. Um, You can reach out to me, and if I didn't give you my number, I will give it to you. You can call anytime. Matter of fact, a lot of you guys have done that, and um, that's another reason I love this chat. I've made a lot of friends here. Um, I like the relationship I have with you guys. Um, I have dialogue with a lot of these members now. I don't know about that, Mike. I mean, I'm kind of torn. Like, I mean, I'm all for the Second Amendment, right? And everybody's got the right to protect himself. And, if you have a liquor store, most of the time they don't actually own the building, right? So to have a landlord tell you you can't have a gun in the liquor store to protect yourself is really violating your Second Amendment rights. Same thing with an office building or an apartment, etc. But I can see the homeowner's point of view. Hey, Luca, how you doing, brother? I can see the homeowner's point of view, though. If you own the home, it's your house. You should be able to tell people, I wish I was partying with you guys too, Luca. So if you own a home as a homeowner, um, just like you could tell people, no smoking, no guests, I guess you could be able to say no firearms. As a pro Second Amendment person, I'm not happy about it, but I could see how a homeowner would get their panties all up in a bunch, being that the government is forcing them to allow it. Um, and even though that bill passed, I'm betting that they'll fight it. I'm expecting to have a bunch of homeowners um, file a class action suit or sue the state of Tennessee for that. Um, I'm just curious how that winds up. But realistically, uh, it's a huge win, and I never thought about it. But Tennessee is a very big state. A lot of people moving from out of state. Um, housing is at a premium right now, if you could even find it. And whether you're renting because you want to or you're forced to, you shouldn't uh, have to give up your Second Amendment rights because of that. But again, I do see the other side that, if it's my house, I wouldn't want the government telling me what I need to do. That's a good question, Luca. And yes, I do think that mag ban reversal in D.C. is definitely going to have an effect on New Jersey and Connecticut. But when you think about it, the magazine bans in New Jersey have been going on for 10 years. They won in court, it got overturned. I mean, what I don't understand about New Jersey is how many times do you keep hearing the same damn gun bills? Magazine restrictions. New Jersey is the only state in the country that you're not allowed to possess hollow points. And the critical duty is not really a hollow point because there's wax in the middle. But New Jersey is the only state in the country that you can't have hollow point ammunition. And they just keep regurgitating these gun bills over and over and over again. I just don't understand why the Supreme Court just can't put an end to it. I mean, anyway, I digress. I have a tendency to do that. But yes, I do think that you're going to see New Jersey, Connecticut have that mag ban overturned. And the mag bans are stupid, right? I mean, they tried to do it when we had Governor Christie, and he wouldn't allow it. And then, of course, Governor Free Stuff, first thing he did is made the magazines over 10 rounds considered high capacity. The problem with that is the bad guys still have their high capacity mags. So again, what New Jersey is doing is they're um, crippling the law abiding citizens and they're empowering the bad guys. To answer your question, Mike, no, I'm really not a fan of pocket guns, and um, the Bodyguard 2.0 is a good quality gun. It's actually one of Smith and Wesson's most popular and highest selling gun. I'm just not a fan of the 380. I'm not buying that argument. You know, if you're going to carry a 380, you might as well carry a 9. The recoil's not that much different. And I just don't like those little baby guns. Um, you know, if you're going to stand toe to toe with somebody, that's one thing. But shooting those little baby guns at 7 yards, even, I'm not a fan. But that's just me. I get it, Luca. But, you know, I speak to my friends in New Jersey every week. Um, and look, I would highly recommend you go to the state of New Jersey's website and look at all the stupid gun laws. There, you know, since New Jersey started issuing carry permits, you guys have actually lost gun rights. Um, the gun laws in New Jersey are so mutilated right now. They're still in the courts about sensitive places where you can carry. I'll get right to you, Mike. Um, Now they're talking about adding churches to sensitive areas, uh, parks, gun-free zones. So basically, if you live in New Jersey and you're standing on a street corner and there's a parade going on, you cross the street, you're a criminal. Um, there's just so many places you can't carry in New Jersey. It's not even worth having a carry permit. Not to mention, they're making it so expensive. The fees for getting a purchase permit and then renewing it is going to require training. And you're talking about $600 to get a carry permit. Um, Buying ammo with the firearms ID card. When you have a firearms ID card, you should be able to buy guns with that too, not just ammo. Um, I don't know. I think the only reason New Jersey is issuing carry permits, besides the fact they don't want to get sued under the Bruin law, um, is that uh, it's a moneymaker. They charge you for a NICS charge 3 times. Think about it. They do a NICS check before you get your permit. Then the state police do one. And then you buy your gun, they do another one. I know that the sensitive ban is in review. Look, I actually go to New Jersey's website all the time. I'm very familiar with the stupid gun laws and gun bans that they're trying to have here. I'm sorry. I'm okay, Mike. The best compact 9mm for the money, hands down, the Ruger RXM. Can't beat it. Under $400. It's built on Glock Gen 3 technology, so you got millions of accessories available for it. Magpul did an outstanding job with the grip module for that. Thank you for that, Richie. I appreciate it. The gun is modular. You can replace the fire control group and purchase barrel slides and grips without going to an FFL. Finally, after a year, Magpul released the full-size grip module, which I replaced on mine. And it's optic ready right out of the box. And it comes with a tritium front night sight and U-shaped rear notch sight. It's an awesome quality gun, and I think I only paid $350 when I got mine. 5 days for 22 is just ridiculous. That's New Jersey for you. I'm telling you, bro. That's one of the reasons we left there. You know, one of the deciding factors was that in New Jersey, when you bought the gun, there were 3 copies of the permit. State police get one, local police get one, and you get one, right? So now the local police, they know what you own. And I had a Glock 20, 10 millimeter, 15 round magazines. And we got a letter in the mail December 28th saying, if you don't surrender your high capacity magazines, you will become a Class E felon and we could confiscate your firearms. And that was one of the last straws. And that was it. And on top of that, spent all that money getting the magazines pinned and that 15 round, that 10 round restriction also applied to AR mags. So I wound up sending them to a good buddy of mine in Texas. And then we moved to the great state of Tennessee where we have, thank you God, no restrictions. So I wound up having to buy all new magazines again. Luca. I remember when Luca came down here to visit, and I took him to Bud's gun shop, and all the guns were out on the floor. You could just pick up and play with them and bring them to the register, right? And he was asking the guy, can I see this revolver? And could I see that revolver? And it was awesome watching his face light up because they didn't ask for a firearms ID card. We don't have that stupid stuff down here. You could fill up your whole shopping cart with guns. I could buy 1,000 guns in the store and don't know stinking permits. Yep, we do the same thing here too, Richie. We don't go through the NICS system. Tennessee TICS is their own. We opted out of that, and it takes all of about 5 minutes. And I like when I go to my local Rural King, the ammo's on the shelf right next to the potato chips. In New Jersey, when you buy ammo at the range, they document all that purchases. And now even buying accessories, I can't tell you how many gun sites I go to now where they just don't bother selling in New Jersey anymore because the laws are so complicated. They just don't want to go through the trouble. And I don't blame them. The funny thing about it is New Jersey wasn't always that messed up. My wife and I lived there our whole life. When I was a kid, the firearms ID card that my dad had, you used to be able to carry a gun with that. That's what I'm saying, Duke. There's a lot of online places now that won't sell magazines or ammo to New Jersey anymore. They just won't. But anyway, I remember when I was a kid, used to be able to go to the hardware store, and they had the 22 rifles and ammo, and you didn't need anything. My dad could just go in there and buy me a rifle and ammo, and the Sears catalog came out in the 60s, and used to be able to go to Sears and just buy guns, and amazing how much that has changed. But I remember that when I was a kid, my dad used to be able to carry in New Jersey, and then in the 70s, all of a sudden, you couldn't do it anymore. And I feel bad for the people that live in Virginia, but they did get what they voted for. There is a boatload of new gun bills going through in Virginia right now, and some of them are going to get shot down. They have to. That governor is a lunatic and communist. So the AR ban that they have now in Virginia, as of July 1st, 2026, in the state of Virginia, you will not be allowed to purchase, sell, or transport AR-15s, including on government properties, including streets and sidewalks. So basically what they're telling you is if you own an AR-15, you'll be able to keep it. But you can't even take it to the gun range because technically the streets are government property and you'll be breaking the law transporting it on the street. And it's going to get worse and worse there because Virginia is going to try banning pistols next. It's out of control. And thanks for that shout out, Mike. I appreciate the people that do join our channel and become members. It's a great way to support us. Also, want to thank those of you who purchased the chat stickers and super chats. Anything helps. Like I said, we're very small but growing channel. We're not like the big guys, so I can't afford to buy firearms out of my own pocket every month. So yes, we the people. I'm still, maybe it's me, I'm still not getting what the government doesn't understand about shall not be infringed. It's not the government's rights to take away. The whole reason our founding fathers formed the Bill of Rights was to protect us from the government. Good afternoon, Bubba. Appreciate that. And how did they get to pick and choose which amendment they want to attack? They're always attacking the Second Amendment. And why didn't the courts 50 years ago put their foot down and say, shall not be infringed? That's it. None of this stupid shit that these individual states are doing. And why is the Second Amendment the only amendment that requires a permit or a license? You can't charge people, you can't force people to get a permit or a license for a God-given right. And in a way, they're actually doing it in the First Amendment as well, because in some states, you do need a permit to protest. And it doesn't say in there needs a permit. And what I don't understand about why the Supreme Court hasn't ruled in our favor is that there is nothing in the Second Amendment that says except or but. Matter of fact, in any of the amendments, there is no except or no but. Doesn't say shall not be infringed except for or but. But yet individual states make up their own rules. And this should have been settled on a federal level. Now, I'm liking what Senator Lee in Utah is proposing, a constitutional carry bill that will enable you to carry in every state without a license or permit. I wouldn't get too excited about it. I mean, in theory, it's a great idea. We should have had that 50 years ago. It's never going to pass. These liberal states are going to do what they do now. They're going to ignore the federal government, wait until they get sued, and tie it up in the courts forever. So even though in theory, it's a great idea. It's never going to pass in our lifetime. Um, and like I said, when I was at the NRA convention in Dallas last year, and President Trump was talking about national reciprocity, I knew as soon as he brought that up, he shouldn't have made a promise he can't keep. There's no way it's ever going to go through. Never going to happen. Not in our lifetime. The only thing we can hope for is that if you live in a gun-friendly state, that it stays that way. Fortunately, Tennessee bleeds red, and I don't see in our lifetime them ever taking our gun rights away. That's just not going to happen. Matter of fact, we keep making our gun laws even less restrictive. Yeah, exactly, dude. So, yeah, so in New Jersey, you need all kind of documentation and fingerprints, and you got to go through hoops to buy a gun, but yet they'll allow illegals to vote. You know what? There's so many reasons we left that state. Yeah, Congress is letting us all down. The whole government is letting us all down. Um, these times are much different than they've ever been. Um, they're dangerous times right now, and we should be able to protect ourselves because the government can't. Um, but like I said, all you can do is pray if you live in a gun friendly state that it stays that way. And look what happened in Virginia. They used to be a gun friendly state, and now it's practically a crime to own a gun. Um, yeah, you need ID for everything. Um, and unfortunately, this new governor of New Jersey, she's worse than Governor Free Stuff. I mean, she's just an absolute lunatic, but she could fly a helicopter. And you know what? The people that live there, they got what they voted for, unfortunately. That's what they wanted. Um, and if the people that live there say, I didn't vote for her, well, they should just leave, right? I mean, you live in a state that you know is going to predominantly always be that party, and you don't agree with it, leave. No matter what side you're on. I do like the fact, though, that John Fetterman, I actually like this man a lot. I didn't know much about him at first, and I thought he was a mental patient. But he's not a far left lunatic like the rest of his party. And he's got a big set of balls. I give him credit. He goes up against his own party. He supported every one of Trump's cabinet picks. He was the only Democrat that shook President Trump's hand. And he even admitted he dresses like a slob, but he wore a suit for Trump's speech. And I just find it ironic that the Democrat with brain damage has got the most sense out of all of them. But John Fetterman has got my respect. I think he's a good man, regardless of political affiliation. He obviously is one of the few Democrats left that actually loves his country. And of course, on John F. He loved his country. He was a God-fearing man, pro Second Amendment. He was an avid shooter. There's no way he would run under this party if he was alive today. But I like the fact that John Fetterman went against his party and said, I support the President of the United States, whether he's Republican or Democratic. Um, you need to respect the office. And he also told them is that praying that Donald Trump fails makes America fail. Um, so I got to tell you, I just have a whole new respect for Fetterman. Maybe the stroke fixed him, but he seems to be a good guy. And uh, every time he goes out and makes his statements, I like him more and more. Oh, got you there, Duke. I only took JFK because I'm old. I wouldn't be surprised to see Fetterman leave his party and run as an independent, though. I'm going to ask some of you guys questions. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just stupid. Is there a difference between a hex key and an Allen key? I thought they were the same, but when I tried removing the optic plate from my Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 this morning, I used a 5/16th Allen key, 5/64th Allen key, and it doesn't work. I don't know if the hex key is different. I guess I'm going to have to run over to Lowe's and get one because it just pisses me off that it's screaming put an optic on me and I can't do it. Yes, the Dems eat their own. Just like animals, there's some animals that eat their young. Same thing. Well, time flies. It is 10 minutes to 1. We have 10 minutes left, guys. So if you have a topic you want to discuss or comments to make, questions to ask, please do so. Again, we're getting pushed out to more and more people now. So I appreciate everybody who tuned in. For the new people on this stream, we do this at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern every Wednesday night and 12 noon on Saturday. So I hope you could join us again. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. Watch and share and like our videos. Yeah, I know that Allen is a brand name, but I'm still thinking there's got to be a difference on the end of it. I mean, I wish I could just take my damn gun into Lowe's and try one there, but and I still don't know. I think it's stupid. I don't know why Smith & Wesson used such a small screw head for a 10 millimeter. I mean, 5/64 is really small. But I have a Zalissi optic sitting here that's just screaming to be put on. And I will be doing that, hopefully. Now watch. Now it did come with a bag full of mounting plates, right? But watch, my luck's going to be, I'm going to remove the optic plate and it's not going to fit. But I do have an optic on every pistol I own that is optic ready. And I will continue to do so. So after this stream, I will go run over to Lowe's and try to get a hex key. That's a good question, Richie. I don't know what the ATF is going to do. I'm just hoping that they just disband it. I really don't know what they're doing anymore, what their intention is. The suppressor and the short barrel rifle thing. Um, even though you don't pay the $200 tax, it's still on the NFA list, and you're still in the federal database. So I, 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 I don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do about that, and um, how common the use is going to be. Yeah, I get that too, Richie. Matter of fact, when I went to Harbor Freight, I got both metric and standard Allen key sets, and um, they still don't fit. Now it calls it hex, but I got to tell you, when I take out the 5/64, doesn't really look like a hex to me. It looks like a round ball on the end. I don't really see a hex on it. It looks round. So my next stop is going to be Lowe's. Um, and if that doesn't work, then I'm going to just give up. But that is my only bitch about that gun. I like that Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 10 millimeter. It's a great shooting gun. It's extremely comfortable. Um, Shoots very well. But I'm not liking that. I'm not liking the way they have that mounting plate set up. It's just stupid. All right, we got 5 minutes left, guys. So this is your stream. So whatever you want to discuss. Yeah, you know what, Richie? They have. I gotta say, they have. They did speed up the processing time. Um, so that's a good thing. And I know a lot of the suppressor places have sales now where they take $200 off because of the uh, tax stamp. Um, yeah, that's a good idea, Richie. I'm going to actually have to do that. I could tell you that the Allen key is rounded. I could clearly see. I don't really see a hex on it like I do on the screw. Um, Maybe I just go to Lowe's and get uh, a 5/64. I told you, Mike. I warned you about that. I warned you about about the mixed large and small primer. I hate that. Um, I had some mixed too, and I didn't know until I was priming it, and I couldn't understand why I was having so much trouble. That's why I only buy Starline brass. It clearly states large pistol primer. Um, you also get that if you buy used, once reloaded brass. Glasswinder, good for you, brother. I wear this hat because I wore it in one of my streams, and I had so many people complaining about it. Um, but the stream went viral. I had like 5,000 people on that stream. Um, so if that's what it takes to get more subscribers and viewers, I'll wear the hat. All right, guys, 2 minute warning. We will be ending at 1 o'clock. Yeah, I don't know, Richie. I'm going to actually do what you said right after the call. I'm going to put my camera on it and enlarge it and see what the difference is. Um, should work, but it doesn't. Matter of fact, it doesn't do anything. I put it in there and it just spins, even though it says 5/64. So no, it's not a Torx head unless they make Torx in 5/64. You have a great day too, Glasswinder. It clearly states in the manual remove the plastic slide cap by unscrewing the 2 screws using a 5/64 hex wrench. Clearly states that. And that's what I did, but I don't know. I will take your advice and put the camera on it. Maybe the Allen wrench, maybe because they were cheap. Anyway, you have a great day too, brother. It is 12:59, so we are going to be ending this live stream. For those that are still here, if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. You all have a blessed day and a great weekend. Love you all. Thank you. Till next time.